Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Passion and Purpose and Possibilities. Hope everyone is doing well. I am your Money Mindset podcast host, Kenny Ingersoll. Excuse me. Welcome again to that. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a great Christmas and hope everyone's getting ready for a great New Year's. Hope everyone's going to have a happy and safe, great New Year's. So, sorry, let me just get a couple things over here really quick. Sorry for 1 second. I am excited for today. As always, this episode is brought to you by IngersollEnterprises.com. Thank you for that. A lot of great things going on today. Excuse me. We are joined by Anam Hyatt. Sorry, I just lost my screen. So, business executive coach for moms. She helps them create quantum leaps in their career and business. And I'm sure we'll get more into that. Without further ado, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, thank you for being on, and I hope I pronounced your name somewhat correctly. So
Yeah, thank you.
awesome. I want to start out with. Oh, come on. Sorry, my screen is not doing what I want it to do. It decided to shift on me. So some of the fun things with live, right? So so you help moms with quantum leaps in career and business. So let's start with why did you narrow it down to that?
A lot to do with my journey, my own journeys. I had my first daughter at that, and I was like, getting promotions and it's done. Everything is delivered and found. And I really question: is it really my passion? When you the true love of your life after your partner, then you realize that
Oh,
what
the sound keeps cutting in and out. I don't know if that's on.
is it better now?
Yeah. At the moment, it comes in and out, so we'll see how it goes for a moment.
Okay, so I thought that maybe me just calling me for bigger things. Moms, when they start to have their own, cannot see in the same way in the corporates. Seen somebody
No,
who has to leave it. Is it still not working?
it's still cutting in and out. And I want to have people hear your message. I want to hear your message. Um, let's see. I
Quickly
don't know if
switch and switch my device. 1 second, I'm going to switch my device.
okay. Sorry. Just bear with us for a minute while we try and get this working. see here.
I'm drinking of candy.
Yep. uh, love my son. So, while waiting, let's talk a minute. How you tie business and family, or work and family together? How are you doing that? And also with holidays, how do you tie work, family, holidays, travel? How do you tie that together? How do you incorporate them all? You know, do you plan everything around what your work schedule is, and then the vacation's okay when during this week we'll do this? Is your family all involved in the planning aspect of it? Is Are they involved in the business side of it? Do you bring them in? You saw my son come in on my show just a second ago. How are they tied together? And what about travel? Um, how do you incorporate travel? All right, let us. All right, we are getting there. But are you there, Enam?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me okay?
We can hear you. I cannot see you though.
That is so strange. I have no idea why. My camera is working absolutely fine. Oh my goodness. Let me just quickly check.
I'm getting But if we just need to do audio only, that's perfectly fine. We can just roll with that.
Yeah, let's do that. And in the meantime, I'll figure out why it's not. Just wondering, maybe it's got to do with my browser. Okay. Let's do that. Let's just roll with that. At least we keep on going.
Perfect.
Sorry about that. I have no idea why it's. Oh my
But
god.
I believe you started with your journey because that coaching moms to create quantum leaps was part of your journey. Is that correct? Is that what I
Yeah.
understood?
Yeah. So when I started my own journey, and I realized that in after having kids, you're not perceived the same way in corporate world, especially in corporate London. I realized that like your priorities start to change, and people think that, oh, you have got more restrictions, you have to get home at a certain time. And I almost felt like I'm suppressing my power, my passion, what I really wanted to do. And I'm not really expressing myself to the fullest. And I literally feel stuck. And I think a lot of times we feel in our life like that, and we just keep on going. And I had this inclination that I just need to just keep on going. You're getting paid at the end of the day. Everything is fine, and I just stick to that. But with time, I felt like I was literally suppressing my passion. And when it comes to your topic, like passion, purpose, like I literally felt that there is something within me which is saying you're not meant to do that. Like waking up every single morning, I felt like I'm pushing myself to get up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to work. It's not something that excites me anymore. And then I would leave my daughter at home, or with my mom, or with the carer. And I thought it is not aligned with the life I see for myself. And now it was screaming right at me that this is not the life I want. But then I had this limiting belief that if I listen to my heart, and if I start doing what I love, I wouldn't be able to generate the income. I wouldn't be able to survive. And a lot of times we have this question that would it work? Would it really work if I follow my passion, if I do what I really wanted to do? And I thought, what if I just take a leap? And that's when I took a passion test. I don't know if you have heard of that. It's like a tool I used. It's founded by Janet Atwood, and it has helped 1 million people all over the world discover their passion, what they absolutely love. And when I did that tool, I realized that I really want to help other people. And what I really want to help other people with seeing what their passion is, stepping into their power, stepping into their next level version. And I really want to help moms, because a lot of times when we have our kids, we think that if we go after our dreams, if we want to do what we really want to do, we will almost compromise on our role as a mother. And I want to tell them that no, that is not true. In fact, it's the other way around. When you really follow your heart, go after your dreams, your kids are going to learn to exactly do the same. They will find the permission by looking at you as their role model to go after what they want. So I want to help moms understand that they can have it all. They can spend time with their kids. They don't have to, like, follow this thing that I have to go to work. I have to ignore my family. I have to leave my kids with somebody else. You can spend time with them. You can do things with them. And at the same time, you can do what is really meaningful to you. You can follow their dreams, and in a big way, you know and that is my message, that follow your heart, follow your passion, and everything will take care of itself.
Absolutely, that is so true. And, there's a number of key things that you brought up, and I want to start with, a lot of new parents, especially from my own experience speaking, new parents think that their kids become a restriction. Oh, I can't do this because I have kids. Oh, who's going to babysit if I go do that? Or blah, 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 blah. When in reality, your kids should be the driving force. I am doing this because of my kids. I am, more driven to follow my passion because of my kids. Um, what was your journey like when making that switch, learning, that your kids were not a restriction, and like you were saying just a minute ago, to be the example. The kids will learn from you, whatever example you set, and then especially with having that mindset of you can have all of it.
Yeah, it is such a good question, because when I started, like, initially I had this thing, let's play safe and let's just not go after what I want. And because if I do that, if I develop myself, I literally saw it like that. If I develop myself, if I'm busy doing what I love, then I would ignore my kids. I would neglect my kids. I wouldn't spend time with them. I wouldn't do the things which I should be doing for them. And I started doing that, and I became a really miserable person, because I was just like getting by. I was just doing things out of, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. But when I really took that shift, and I realized that, and now coming on the other side, let me tell you that once you do what you want, your kids love to see that. And the kids grow with you. So, for example, if you're reading a book, if you're talking about somebody, if you're talking about success, if you're talking about mindset, if you're talking about your goals, your kids are picking up that conversation. So, until 7 years of age, everything is being recorded. So whatever the conversations is going on around them, it's being recorded. So you might as well want to talk about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, so that they learn to do that. So before doing that, when I used to ask my daughter that I really want you to read books, it's such a good idea, let's do it together, she was never interested. And I had to push her, and she would never do it. But when I started doing it myself, every time I was reading a book, she had to bring her book and read it with me. And it's so phenomenal that every time we are telling our kids, do this, don't do this, but they are recording, literally, their mind is recording every single thing what we are doing. So once we do that, it's not that you're doing something by yourself, it's not that you are neglecting your kids. Your whole family takes that journey with you. You do it together. So, how can we find ways to succeed together? How can we find ways that they do things which are meaningful for them and they develop while you are developing? And I think it's about, is the time that family starts going together. It's nothing that if you are growing, or if you're following your passion, or if you're doing something, then your kids are not. They are in this journey with you. So that is the
Absolutely.
thing. And one of the other things I learned, which was so powerful, that 90, 85% people in this world don't follow their passion. So according to the survey done by Gallup, 85% of the full-time employed people in this world are doing what they don't love, are not engaged, they don't like their jobs, they hate their jobs, right? And this is a big, big number. But what I want to tell you is that what you love, what you would love to do, is actually something that you're meant to do. So it's like, our heart is meant to beat and supply blood to our entire body. Our lungs are supposed to supply oxygen, right? Our hands are supposed to do the work. So they are doing what they're meant to do. And we have to find what we are meant to do. And the only way to find that is understanding, what would I love? What would you absolutely love you to do when you forget what the time is, when work doesn't seem like work? And in this time and age, you can monetize anything. People, like, if you think about it, Tiffany and Co are making gold pins, and they're selling them for thousands and thousands. Gold paper clips, right? So there is a demand for everything, and there are so many creative ways to turn your passion into profit. So you can think about, if you like cooking, you don't have to necessarily open a whole restaurant. You can literally cook and record YouTube videos, and you can have a great income out of that. So even thinking that, oh, my passion wouldn't necessarily make me any money, or I won't be able to survive, that is not true at all. There is a demand for everything, and what you are, like, what you absolutely love, that's what you're meant to do. So even if you can't leave your full-time job right now, how can you try it turning into a side hustle and then taking it to the place where you don't have to work anymore, where you don't have to work a single day in your life again? How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you brought up, what you're passionate about and stuff, and not what this survey told you to be passionate about, or what others think you should do for a living. A lot of us get opinions, and they put too much emphasis on some of those opinions in the wrong time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not devaluing the opinions of trusted associates or friends or whatever, but they put too much opinion on people that don't have any weight behind that opinion in that topic. You know,
Yeah.
like if I were to give you my opinion on, you know, something for you, I have
Yeah.
no knowledge in that particular area per se. If I'm in financial services, and if I'm trying to talk to somebody that's an engineer or an auto mechanic,
Yeah.
I have no experience, so my opinion has no weight behind it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But people are putting too much um, emphasis, or leaning too hard on those opinions when they shouldn't be. They should be leaning on their own thoughts and their own heart and their own journey.
That
You know,
that is such a good point. And one of the other things I have noticed, that as kids, we are not sometimes told how to make decisions. So our parents or our family members are too inclined to take decisions for us. Do this, don't do this, try this, don't try this. This is not good for you. So to the point, when we start to, like, when we grow up and we think, what do I want to do in my life? We want to ask other people, what do you think I should do? What do you think is good for me? What do you think will work in my life? And as you said, a lot of times those people have no idea. They have no relation to what you're asking them about, right? But the key is to understand that we are trying to doubt ourselves. We are trying to not listen to that inner voice, right? So for me, whenever I talk to my clients, or I'm coaching anybody, I ask them this question: what would you love? That is the only important question. What would you love? Whether you're taking a decision, whether you're choosing your career, whether you want to do this or not, don't think about the circumstances. Don't think about what is possible. Because once you make a decision, right, even if you don't know how to do it, even if you have no idea how it can be done, once you make a decision that this is what I want to do, the way will show. because now you make a committed decision that I'm doing this. And the way will unfold after you make the decision, not before you make the decision. So a lot of times you say, oh, I would love to do this if I get more money. I would love to do this when kids will finish school. I would love to do this when my kids grow up. No, the right time will never come. The key is what would you love? Because that is meant for you. So I love what Henry Ford said. He said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Absolutely. And it's so easy for us as parents to continue to make the decisions for our kids, because for the first several years, in a way we had to.
Yeah.
We wanted to teach them, but as we grow up, they have to learn on their own. And I give you a perfect example. We were working on my piano last night, and my son wanted to try something, and I knew from experience, because I'd done it before, that it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But I, instead of shutting down his idea and nope, that won't work,
Yeah.
which I've done in the past, and I've had to learn and stuff. I've let him do. Okay, let's try it. That
Yeah.
way he learns, and not only does he just try that, it's not just about the piano. Although in his mind right now it may seem only about the piano today, but he's learning to explore, to be persistent, to be creative, to ponder, to think outside the box, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then that will have a big ripple effect in 10 years, 20 years, when he's getting into a career or whatever, whatever that timeline is, to give himself even more permission to think outside the box. Okay, let's try this, and learn that way, and grow from those experiences, and have his own journey.
Exactly. And it is such a good example. Like, it's so empowering because he's learning to take decisions. He's learning to decide. And who cares if the decision is wrong? It's not the end of the world. The key is not what decision you take. The key is how you deal with it afterwards. Right? So no decision is wrong. It's about understanding that this is what I want. And if you want it, you can do it. So if you have a desire to do something, you have the power to do it. So not thinking that, okay, I'm taking this decision, is it the right decision for me, should I do it, asking a million people what is feasible, what's not feasible. No, just decide. And once you decide, all the things will happen afterwards, because once you decide on that decision, you take your mind on the frequency of that goal, you take your mind on that level, and that's when all the ideas, inspirations, intuitions, everything comes to you. And sometimes when we ask other people, they may not see the vision what we can see for ourselves, because that is assigned to us. That is the vision that is assigned to our life. So how do we say that, you know what, I will make the decision what I want to do. I have no idea how I can do this, but I'm going to make that decision and I'm going to just do it. And that's when things start to unfold. So I love this example of Henry Ford when he wanted to make a certain kind of a car engine, and he was trying to get all the pieces together, and his engineers told him that it is not possible, this idea is not possible, this is not feasible. And he said to them, I want it, and if you want your job, keep on working on it. And they said to him, this is not possible. So for 6 months down the road, they kept working on it, it didn't work. And they said to him, look, we told you it's not going to work. But he knew that if he can see it in his mind, then it can happen. If you can imagine that, you have the power to do it. So they kept working on it, and after a year, all of a sudden, everything just worked out. And that's how he was able to manufacture cars at such an industrialized level. That's why we see Fords all over around us. That one decision, commitment, conviction.
Yeah, and
You know,
there's so many examples like that. You can think of many names. Will Smith.
yeah.
Like you said, Henry Ford, Elon Musk. Their decision to stick to their path, to decide what they love, and then go for it.
You have to
Ed
almost like,
Hillary. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, you have to almost like be, strict on your vision and leave the how. The how is going to come. The way is going to unfold. Things are going to happen. You will get the ideas. You will get all the inspirations. You will get the knowledge. You will meet the right people. Things will start turning. But the key is, what would you love? Everything comes down to, what would you love?
Yeah, and that reminds me of another point I love. The how. Don't worry about the how when you make that decision. Just make the decision.
Yeah.
And doing what you love, not everything has to monetize.
Yeah.
And it may not play out like you think. Like, take for example, you and I. I love podcasting. I love sharing stories with people and those experiences and meeting new people. Like you and I got connected through the podcast.
Yeah.
But the podcast right now is not necessarily going to monetize for me at this moment. But
Yeah.
maybe you and I connect on another venture,
Exactly. Exactly.
or I may know someone that I think would be a good connection for you, and vice versa. So who knows? Or it because of the podcast, because of saying yes to the podcast, we're connected, and something else may come down that will monetize.
Exactly.
And so like you said, the how will come, the way will come. If you're going from the U.S. to Australia, I'm just throwing out some things. You might think you're going a straight line over there, whatever. But you
Yeah.
might have to stop in Thailand. I don't know where I'm.
Yeah.
If I'm talking in the correct order or anything. I'm just throwing out an example here. But you might have to stop in Thailand for fuel or whatever.
Yeah.
So the journey may not always be like you imagined, and the connections and the experiences and stuff are part of that journey. And if we didn't have those connections and experiences, the journey wouldn't be the same, and the end result would be different as well.
Yeah. And very similar, like, I would love to connect you to this point. What you're saying is so beautiful, that our mind is literally like a GPS. So psychology has proven that our subconscious mind and our nervous system is like a GPS for us. So a drug addict, or a successful entrepreneur, or a stay-at-home mom, or a working, or whoever you take, they're all working on a goal. We all are naturally designed to work on something, right? But the problem is that a lot of times we don't know what we are working on subconsciously, because that goal is assigned by our self image. The kind of image we hold about ourselves, the kind of thoughts we think, the kind of ideas we hold about ourselves, and we are constantly working on that goal. So when you decide that vision, that, oh, I want to, for example, I want to go to Australia, let's take the similar example. You have given your mind that vision. And if you believe in it, if you see yourself there already, if you act like that person who has done it, if you feel it's done, you are assigning that goal to your mind. And now it's your mind's job to automatically, on autopilot, take you there. So you're going to naturally do those things, those actions which are taking you there. The problem is that we have not assigned the right goal for our mind, because what do we think about? We think about what could go wrong. What do we think about? The worst case scenario. What do we think about? Why it is not possible for us? And what is the goal we are assigning to our mind with our dominating thoughts? That I cannot do this. I cannot have this. I have to be realistic. I have to be practical. I have to compromise. And when we assign those goals, then our mind gives us the same results. And then we get frustrated that I'm trying so hard and it's not working. I've been working 16 hours a day. The results are not coming. The key is that we have to see ourselves there. We have to make a decision. We have to decide, this is what I would love. And see yourself already there.
Yeah, and with that decision, you know that you're making, and don't go ask other people. You ask for their support, but hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? No, you're like, I'm doing this. Will you support me? And
Yeah.
then, especially, sorry, one second, let me help my son here. But especially one of the things is, then we start to ask our bank account, or our other resources that we have, our kids in school, our job, our my flat tire. We start asking those things for permission, and
Yeah.
then that's really what, to your point, is where we get hung up and, oh no, I can't do it. But instead of making that decision and with the firm desire, okay, I'm going, then the things will come into place that will put money in your bank account and
Yeah.
fix the flat tire and give you the time off or whatever those things that you need because
Yeah.
you've decided you're going.
Yeah, exactly. So once you make the decision, that's when things have to unfold. But a lot of times we look at our circumstances and we think, oh, it's not possible. I can't do this. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. But my question is, what do you need to make a decision? You don't need money to make a decision. You need money to afterwards, but you don't need money to make a decision. You don't need the time to do that thing before making a decision. You don't need you don't need not to have a flat tire to make that decision. You do nothing to make a decision. All you need to do is a desire that, yes, this is what I want to do. And I love how Napoleon Hill presents in Think and Grow Rich. He says, if you can see it in your mind, in your imagination, you can hold it in your hand. Because once you start seeing it in your mind, you're assigning that goal to your subconscious mind and your nervous system. And that goal is done. It's assigned. Now it's your mind's job. It's going to give you those ideas. It's going to take you towards that. You will start taking inspired actions. Somebody will bump into you. You will go somewhere and somebody will give you an idea, or an idea will come to you. But what happened as a result of you making a decision? And the same function of mind can work for you creating what you don't want. So it is as powerful as to create what you want versus what you don't want. The question is, what would you like? And how
Absolutely.
about you make a decision on what I would love? And that's what it came for me when I was making a decision that I want to go after my dreams. I want to create more income, more impact. And again, coming to the point, when it becomes parents, our why becomes bigger. Now we just don't want to do it for ourselves. We want to do it for our kids. We want to show them that example. We want to invest in their growth and development and show them the way. It's like we are a role model for somebody else now. It's not just about us. So my belief changed. And I thought that before I was thinking, if I'm on my own, I don't have a bigger why. But when I see my kids, I have a bigger why because I'm paving a way for them. So how?
Absolutely. It's so much more enjoyable when you share it with others,
Yeah,
and you get more fulfilled when sharing that. You know, and then it helps you also to get more out of the abundance side of things versus the scarcity or
yeah,
whatever, because so many people are trapped in that scarcity mindset. Don't want to share it, or they don't want to be embarrassed if it doesn't go quite to plan.
yeah,
Once you make a decision and maybe you have a setback or you get sidetracked for a little bit or have to make a pit stop somewhere, you know, a lot of times people let the what ifs and the embarrassment or things like that stop them. What will they think of me because
yeah,
I didn't get there how I thought I would or when I said I would.
yeah. And I love telling it to my clients. I say, what other people think about you is none of your business. Is their thought, is their idea, right? It's not your business. What you think about you is our problem. If you think you cannot do it, you won't do it. If so, the key is asking yourself, what would I love? And then believing and seeing yourself doing it. And a lot of times, when we think other people would say this or that, it's actually we are judging ourselves. And we are thinking that this person might say that, but it's actually our own thought. Because if somebody says something to us and we don't agree with it, it's not going to bother us because we would say, thank you, but I don't agree with that opinion. I don't think I'm like that. But if you don't like yourself and then you're saying, oh, other people are thinking that about me, then my question will be, are you thinking that about you? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that is so true because our thoughts, our brain is the ultimate decision maker for us. You know, we can have all this on the good side. We can have all this knowledge and the books you shared. In fact, you know, I've got it right here. I read this all the time. You know, we could have all this great information on one hand, or we could have all this negative talk and doubters and haters and everything on the other. But it's up to us to decide which way we're going or if we're going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the key is to just, like Napoleon Hill said, that desire is the prerequisite for everything. So if you have the desire, that's it, you're done. If you have a desire, then it's meant for you, that you have the power to do it. So don't think, is it possible? Can I do it? What would other people say? All these things are just distractions. If you have the desire, that's it, it's done. And you are qualified. What is your qualification? Your qualification is not that you have to go and get another degree. Your qualification is not that, oh, I have to read these many books. No. If you want it, you can have it. As simple. Otherwise,
It
you
is.
wouldn't want it. There's so many things in our life which we don't want it because they're not meant for us. So we have no desire. But then I ask my clients all the time that if there is this inner voice saying, no, you can't, you do, then ask yourself, am I talking to myself or am I talking to my paradigms? Am I talking to myself or I'm talking to that limitations and which are based on my past experience? They have nothing to do with you. They're just your past experience. What happened in the past, you drove conclusions from that, and now it's dictating your future. So how about we
Absolutely.
say that 2023 New Year is a completely different year where I will do what I want, not what I think I can have or not what my past dictates. I would do
Yeah.
what I absolutely love. And trust me, when you do what you love, you are the best version for other people and for yourself. It's like, it's really funny that a lot of times I hear people say that I can't focus on my dreams because I want to help other people. Trying to help this person. But until you craft that thing which you love to the highest level, how can you help other people to the highest level? So, in order to even help other people, if we have this desire to help other people, we have to first wear our oxygen mask first. We have to craft our skills and our potential to the highest level, and then we can help other people. And then coming back to the question, what would you love? Because if you love it, then probably you will do a really good job at becoming best at it because it won't seem like work. It is so funny that according to the research, in order to be the top 10% in any industry, you need to work for 5 years. If you focus on an industry and really get better at it and just focus on one thing and really with a vision that you want to get at the top, you need 5 years. And in 5 years you can be in the top 10%. How easy is that? Just choose one thing that you want to dedicate your rest of your life and then become best at it. And
Yeah.
if a lot of times people say, oh, but I don't know if I can make money. There is a law. It's called Universal Law of Compensation. And that law works in every single country. If you think about it, the amount of money we earn is directly proportional to the demand of what we do. First, what is the demand of what we do? Second, how good you are at doing it. And third, how easy it is to replace you. So if you're really hard to replace, if you're really good at what you do and you're really hard to replace, you will earn a lot of money because you're very hard to replace. Nobody can find somebody like you. And the first question is the demand for what you do. So usually, whatever we do, there's a big demand for that. If you think of like Tiffany selling gold paper clips, people are selling umbrellas, and like washing machine. There are all kind of things the world needs, right? So there is no lack of demand, and with the world shrinking down, and you can literally the things are made in China, exported to US, going all over the world. You can literally sit in one corner of the earth and you can serve other people every part of the earth because of internet. So there is always a demand at some corner of the globe of what you do. The key is to be the best at it. And when you become the best at it, you'll be hard to replace, and you'll get a lot of money for that. So again, what would you love that you can be the best at it and spend a few years focusing, really becoming the world class at it, and that's it. And then you won't have to work for the rest of your life because work won't seem work.
Absolutely. And there's so much needed, like you said. One of the things that I had to overcome with the was the scarcity mindset that, you know, well, there's so many other people in the financial services. Nobody's, what good am I gonna do? Or there's so many podcasters out there, a lot of great content out there already. What can I say that's going to help anybody?
Yeah.
And that's the scarcity mindset, that there wasn't enough. But when I realized that and got into it, there's people that will connect with the way I say a message, or
Yeah.
with the way my guests share their message on my show.
Yeah.
Like, you'll share your same message a little bit differently on someone else's show, and then there'll be people that'll connect with you on that platform.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people that need that message from you, whatever that message is. If that message is gold paper plates from Tiffany, or if that
Yeah.
message is in a book or a podcast, or if that message is in landscaping, or if that message is in garbage collection, or recycling, or whatever your form of message is.
Yeah.
People need to hear that
Yeah.
message from you. There are people that
So
need that message from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's so beautiful.
so many people get stuck in that mindset of, what can I say different, or what am I going to bring of value, because there's so many others out there doing similar things, but they're not you. They're
Yeah.
not who you are. They don't have your passion and your approach.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I love that you do that, and like you said, there's so many opportunities to do different things, and so much connection with the internet, and like we discussed before, you and I connected because of podcasting, but maybe we'll connect someone else to our podcast, and then maybe we'll do another business venture or whatever. So who knows where our journey will take us through these connections, through making that decision and following our passions.
Exactly. Exactly. That is so beautiful. I love the way you put it. Like, your service could be anything, right? As long as you add value, it could be literally anything. And if the world needs it, that's it. And the world needs it to hear from you. It is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And again, looking at it from the perspective that there are 7 billion people in the world, right? So if you think, oh, there is enough financial consultant, or there is enough, no, the world still needs a lot of help. Have we changed the life of 7 billion people? No. So there is still a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. And I think this segues perfectly in sharing message. Show us about your Facebook profile, Moms on Fire.
Yeah. So I really help moms see who they are, what is that they absolutely love, and also like elevating their self concept, the kind of beliefs and ideas they hold about themselves, what is like really tapping into the GPS of their mind, so that they can naturally just achieve the goal they want to achieve. So how they can set the right goals for their mind, for their, and tap into their inner GPS, that inner power, that they can just naturally flow towards success. Because we all are living our life on autopilot, whether we agree with it or not. We are, the moment we wake up, we are running by a system, and that system is our mind. It's running us. So how about we set the right goal for our mind? How about our mind naturally takes us to that biggest dream that we aspire to have? Because the more we think, oh, I'm not doing enough, we are trying to be so hard on ourselves, we try to think wrong ideas, the harder it gets. But what if we just flow to success naturally? What if, despite of so many problems, limitations, and things, we are just achieving our goals effortlessly? That is my message for moms. That is my message for purpose-driven individuals. That you have that inner GPS. Turn it on. Like when you sit in the car and you want to go to the place you have never been before, what is the first thing we do? We turn the maps, because we don't want to keep going around in circles and driving for hours not getting there. So, how about we turn the GPS of our mind, which can automatically take us there? How about we set the right goal already before starting our journey? So, how about we set the right goal in 2023? How about we set the vision for our mind, and no matter what we are doing, what's happening around us, we are naturally going towards that? That's what I help moms with. How can they elevate their self concept, the self image they have, which is the GPS, and then land on their goal naturally?
Absolutely. I love that. And I like how you put land on their goal. And, and you talked about visioning themselves with their. And um, I want to close on a couple of things. One is, a lot of people ask, well, I don't even know where to begin. And
Yeah,
I want to ask you to speak on that for a second. But one of the things that I would say a lot of times is one of the places you can begin if you don't know where to begin is reach out to someone doing what you wanted to do, or reach out to someone.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, there are a lot of people, and you'll find the right person. You'll eventually find the right person. So, like for example, reach out to you or myself. If you don't know where to begin, call us.
yeah,
What do
exactly.
you say to moms that say, I don't even know where to start?
Yeah. So there are two things. First, I would say it's so simple that we miss. Take a piece of paper and pen, go to a quiet place. For moms, I know it's even a challenge, but find something like grab a cup of coffee or a tea, or go in nature, somewhere relaxing, and ask yourself this question: what would I love? Just keep asking it. You may not get the answer straight away because you have never asked yourself this for probably, but just keep asking it, because once the answer starts coming, you won't be able to stop. And just keep writing it down. And every single day, read it. Don't do anything about it. Don't shake the world. You don't have to do any of that. Just keep focusing on that. Keep seeing yourself like that. And naturally and gradually, you'll be nurturing your mind. You'll be conditioning your mind to focus on what would you love instead of what you don't like, what you absolutely hate. Right? That is the first thing. And the other thing is, I do this event every single month because I did it a few times and I got such a good feedback. It's like everybody absolutely loved it. And I do it every month, where I go from starting from what would you love, and how do you plant that idea in your mind? How do you reprogram your subconscious mind that it naturally takes you there? Because let me tell you this, when we start to force ourselves, or we start to tell, oh, I'm not working hard, I'm not doing this enough, I need to do this, it doesn't work, because we are running on autopilot. 97 to 98% of the time, we are running on autopilot, right? The key is to just change the goal of that autopilot system and make it what we want, make it our desire, our dream. And once you do it, our mind will naturally take us there. We will naturally start picking up the opportunities. So we have this reticular activating system in our mind. So for example, if you open your phone and you're scrolling, right, there is so much information. Imagine like on one Facebook page, at one scroll, there is so much there. If our mind read all of that, it's going to explode. If we see a newspaper and we read every single thing in one glance, our mind is going to explode. So what that filter system does, it filters out all the things which don't align with how we see ourselves. So if I think I'm a failure, if I think I don't do things well, if I think I can never have enough money, that filter system is going to filter out all the opportunities which are going to show me how to do those things. It's going to automatically, without even me realizing, it's going to filter out, right? So the key is not to put burden ourselves and beat ourselves up and work hard and kill ourselves. The key is first to put the right address in the GPS. Like when we go on the road trip, what is the first thing we do? We don't even leave the home without the GPS. We're like, where's the GPS? Let me write the address. I don't want to get lost. But we don't do it with our lives. We just start endlessly. And then we're not getting there. Of course, you're not getting there. I don't think anybody's lazy. I don't think anybody doesn't want success. The problem is we are not setting the right goals for our mind. And on autopilot, we are going where we don't want to go. So in that event, 3 days, I reprogram your mind, and on autopilot, we plant the belief, the idea, the vision you want. So that for the rest of the year, you can naturally just go where you want. Like
Awesome.
when you're driving with your GPS on, you're not saying, "Oh, I'm going on this road. I don't know if I'm." You know you're getting there. That's where the GPS is taking you. It's the shortest possible route.
Absolutely. Then trust the GPS to
Yeah.
get you there, because it's connected to higher power, to divine power, and it's gonna know
Yeah.
if there's a detour it needs to take you around, and if
Yeah.
there's a connection you need to make, things like that. So trust the GPS. Where can
Yeah.
people connect with you and learn more about this 3-day event?
So I will provide you the link if that's okay. I'm gonna send it to you so you can share the link. I'm gonna share it with you here as well. I've made it simple. So it's bit.ly / it's step into 2023. But I'm gonna share it with you. Let me repeat it again. bit.ly / step into 2023. That is the link. I literally take you. It's a completely free event. I get such a good feedback that I don't want to stop. I did it once to see, it's nice. Let me do this. It's quite nice. And now I'm like, I can't stop. I can't stop. This is the world needs this. And it's absolutely free. It was one of my courses, and I made it, and I used to charge $997 for that. And I made it absolutely free because I know the world needs it. Every single person needs it because we have so much power, so much untapped potential just because we don't set the right goal. We're going in the wrong direction.
Awesome. So one more time.
bit.ly bit.ly / step into 2023.
Awesome. There you go. So go there and learn more about it, connect with Anum, and start setting those right goals. Start defining, identifying, and putting down, putting into the GPS those goals for you. And thank you so much for being here. I've loved having you on. It's been awesome. I love the conversation, and again, thank you for taking the time to be here and share these nuggets of gold and your experience and your wisdom. And everyone for tuning in, thank you so much for being here. Again, go connect with Anna. Go to bit.ly / step into 2023. Learn more about it, connect with her. And as always, live your passion, fulfill your purpose, and explore those possibilities. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much.